You're watching Global News Calgary with Nirmala Naidu and Tony Tai.
Good evening. A police officer opened fire on a man in a southeast Calgary neighborhood this afternoon. Half an hour ago, police told us the man has died. It was a dramatic scene that played out right in front of our Global News camera. Tony Tai is at the scene tonight in Queensland. Tony, this all began this morning when a neighbor called police.
Yes, Nirmala, police were called here to a domestic dispute around 11 o'clock this morning on Queensland Circle. They found a younger woman and an older woman with cuts and stab wounds and then took them to hospital. A toddler was also in the house and the baby is okay. Now, there was still a man in the house. Police made several attempts to convince him to come out. They tried to communicate by phone first, then they started using a blowhorn, and then they actually knocked on the door. And just as the tactical team was setting up at the scene, the man came outside with a knife in his hand, and he was shot by a canine officer. Now, we're about to show you the actual shooting videotaped by a Global News photographer. We warn you, you may find this footage disturbing. Now, there was an ambulance standing by on the scene, and paramedics took the shooting victim as quickly as possible to Foothills Hospital. Police actually blocked off several streets between Queensland and the Foothills so the ambulance could get there as soon as possible. Now, much of the afternoon, we were reporting he was in critical condition. We now confirm the man has died, and police are in full investigation mode. Now, this entire incident was witnessed by a man who lives right across the street from the house, and he told us what he saw as he watched it all unfold.
I was on my way home. I received a phone call from my girlfriend. She said that there were police officers out front of the house. As I approached my driveway, I wasn't allowed to enter through the front of the premises, so I went through the alley, came inside my house, noticed that there were officers with guns drawn surrounding the house across the street from me. I waited approximately 45 minutes, took some pictures with my digital camera. One man exited the house with his knife drawn above his head like so. He was covered in blood head to toe, had a mad look in his eyes. Something had been going on. Pretty severe, you know. He was about 25 years old. Look, he'd just woken up, his hair was all messy. He kept coming closer, barefoot, down that sidewalk towards the two officers that were knelt down behind this white van. They backed up, they kept telling him to, you know, drop the knife and don't come any further, to where they ended up in front of this driveway. He switched his position with his knife to waist level and started charging them, and they shot him approximately 4 or 5 feet away. He fell, moved for about 3 seconds, and then he appeared lifeless. It was overwhelming. All I could think of was, who's in that house?
Now, another witness to this shooting was one of our own global photographers. Cameraman Rob Wallace shot all the video you've been watching, and he says he's never witnessed anything like this in 30 years in the business.